Hello there guys, Remy here, and today I'm doing a review of Bluboo Xfire 2. Before we go further in review, I want to ask you to check out my channel, and if you like it, subscribe. It really means a lot to me. Xfire 2 is a dual SIM, dual standby phone, and it supports a nano SIM and micro SIM card. There is also a third slot for micro SD, so you can expand your internal storage. The screen is 5 inches and the processor is MTK 6580. It's quad core and each core runs on 1.2 GHz. The graphics is Mali 400 MP. Chipset is low end, and Android, which this phone runs, is Android 5.1. All this combined with 1 GB of RAM and 8 GB of internal storage, which is expandable, will give you a decent user performance. The box is pretty simple and nothing special, but in this price range you can't expect a miracle. Inside we find a device itself, and also we get a quick start guide, a micro USB cable for charging and synchronization, a wall charger with European pins. There is also a pin for opening a SIM trace and micro SD tray. Charger output is 1 ampere maximum, which is on slow side, but this is what you get. You can use your 2 ampere charger if you have it. Xfire 2 is a really beautiful phone. When you get it, you immediately realize that this device is a lot more than the price say for itself. On the front side we have a 5-inch screen with a resolution of 1280 by 720. It is an IPS unit of the screen. On top of the screen we have a 2 megapixel front-facing camera, but with software you get 5 megapixels. This camera also features a front-facing LED flash. We have a proximity sensor and in-call voice speaker. Also, a really nice and bright LED notification light is always a neat and good feature. At the bottom we have 3 capacitive touch buttons. They feel really nice. The feedback is overly okay, but they don't have a backlight, and that is always a minus. On the right hand side we have 2 slots. The first one take a nano SIM card, and second one take a micro SIM card and micro SD card. I will show you now. Here you put a micro SD card and micro SIM card. In this slot here you put your nano SIM card. Left hand side of the phone is filled with 2 buttons: a sleep and wake power on and off button and volume control button. They feel really well, made of metal also, like a phone body. There is no crunching or something like that. They feel really well. On the bottom there is a microphone and speakerphone grill. Also you have a micro USB port for charging and synchronization. On the top there is just a 3.5mm input jack. On the back we can see a beautiful metal finish. The top and bottom part is made of plastic, is some kind of textured plastic which feels overly okay on the touch. A back-facing camera is 5 megapixel hardware unit, but with software you get 8 megapixels combined with single LED flash. Under the camera we have a Touch ID sensor, and this Touch ID performs really well. I will show you that later in the review. Overall, how I feel about a phone design and build quality. It is impressive. I want to say for the price, but then you will think that there are some kind of holdbacks from me. But no, feels really nice in the hand, and all metal, nearly all metal body is really admirable if you consider this phone price, which is just under $75. 5-inch IPS screen performs really well. Colors are nice, not too much saturated, and there is no a lot of backlight bleeding. It's on minimum. Viewing angles are okay, nothing impressive, but for the price, I need to say, more than enough. But there is one minus. This phone doesn't have an ambient light sensor. What that means? It means that you need to manually adjust your brightness. There is no automatic settings in the options. You need to manually move a slider. So when you're indoor and want to use your phone, it's best to just minimize the brightness. But when you're outdoor, you need to maximize it. And this is one of major downsides of this phone. I mean, how much it will cost to just put a ambient light sensor? This phone have it all, but it doesn't have an ambient light sensor. I don't know why they did that, but it's a minus, not a huge one, but still a minus. Here are we outdoors, so you can see how the screen performs. Android 5.1 Lollipop experience is fine, nothing special. The phone have a lag here and there, and that is normal considering that it have a 1 GB of RAM, which for today's standards is on low side. A quick overlook how it performs. Now I will show you a Touch ID performance. Placing finger, unlocked. Second time. Let's switch the hands. Surprisingly, the Touch ID works really well. It's not the super fast, but at least it's nearly 100% accurate. It's slower than the flagship Touch IDs, but hey, the phone cost how much it cost. So overall, I give a plus for this Touch ID. Benchmark results are expected from low-end chipset. A single core Geekbench 3 result is 345 and multi-core 1111. And now N22 benchmark. The test gave 22,124. Gaming part of the test will include 3 games, but before we start I wanted to show you temperatures so we can compare them after the gaming. Here are the temperatures when the phone is not used at all. Here are temperatures after the gaming. I wasn't quick enough and temperatures were around 45 degrees. The Xfire 2 barely get any warm on touch when you're gaming, and the heat is very well transferred over the phone, so it feels okay, no problems with that. Camera part is always tempting. Camera application itself is pretty boring. No special options, it's usual stuff you can see on cheap phones. But camera performance is a bit better than, let's say, Hometown HD7 or Bluboo X5. A bit better, like a one step ahead from them, but still nothing special. I will include now camera samples, still photos and videos. Bluboo Xfire 2 front-facing camera video test. And one tip, never ever use a front LED light when there is any light available. Just use it in plain dark. During the day when there is a lot of light you can take pretty decent photos. When I say decent, that is a usable photo. But during the night or in low light situations, it's a different story. there is a lot of noise, it's hard to focus, and both flashes are pretty weak. Battery life on Xfire 2 is Medicore. You have a 2150 mAh battery, and it can get you a day of usage, Medicore usage, no gaming at all, just messaging, voice calls, a little bit of web browsing, and you can get a day. But if you take on off some games or videos, you will drain battery really fast. And here is a Geekbench battery test result. I got 4 hours of battery runtime. The battery score is 1067, and during the test the screen brightness was on 50%. And my final verdict about this phone is really positive. I think that they managed to build a really good device. It's Medicore in every possible way. The chipset is low end, the battery life is in middle, you get a pretty decent screen, and overall you get a pretty decent device, and the price is also good. Also, the build quality is the best thing on this phone. Is nearly full metal build. You get something that is really rare in this segment, and when you wrap all that in one bag, you get a pretty good device. Bonus on all of that is a fingertip sensor, which performs quite well. And I say that because I tested the devices a lot more expensive than this, and the fingerprint sensor didn't work like this one. Other standard features like telephony, Wi-Fi, GPS and others performed without any problem. Few words about Android experience. I think that 1 GB of RAM is kinda tight for these days. So if you consider yourself a user that is not advanced, and when I say advanced, I think that you won't play a lot of games or use a lot of multitasking, then this phone is perfect for you. But if you're not that, if you want a lot of multitasking, then you should look at the phone with at least 2 GB of RAM. That is my advice, and it's really shame that Bluboo didn't put a 2 GB version of this device, because it will be a really good buy, but not for a lot bigger price. In the end of this review, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I got a Bluboo Xfire 2 from GearBest. The price was under $75. I will put a links in the description so you can check it out. For all those watchers who didn't subscribe to my channel, click that subscribe button, and until next time, see ya!